On this episode of Fumble Puck, Noah and Ashley dive into the Snyder cut a little bit, some weird COVID rules, and a little bit of COVID fatigue and rules following around the world right now in the country. We talk about big upcoming games against the Edmonton Oilers and what that means for our standings. We talk about the Habs being a playoff team and which of the other three playoff teams in the North we want to play. And we talk about whether it's Jordan Harris go time or not, and Noah fishes for whether or not a GM earns his salary. Welcome back to Fumble Puck, everybody. You're here with Ashley and Noah, kicking off the week. Ashley, how's it going?
It's going. It's going. It's going to be Monday tomorrow. Here, everybody who's listening, please cross your fingers. We need some good luck this week, good vibes. Send them my way, please. It's just hopefully the end of a very, very long, drawn-out process. Hopefully it'll be the end. Hopefully we'll find out tomorrow morning, but hopefully by Wednesday it'll all be complete. So please just everyone cross your fingers and send good vibes because we need it.
Sending good vibes. Awesome. Absolutely. Everyone, please do that.
Thank you. And thank you in advance to everybody who does. And everybody who doesn't, you suck.
Speaking of things that suck, Ontario's ability to communicate COVID rules is pretty special. So here in Ottawa, we found out that on, I think it was Thursday, that we were going into red zone on Friday. So right. The gap in a bar or restaurant between orange and red, you drop from 50 people down to 10 inside. So obviously that changes the dynamic, your staffing levels. There's a lot of work to do, right? So we get this notice and we have about 14 hours to prepare to completely change the scope of our business, because with the nice weather coming, the game plan becomes afterwards. If we're only going to be allowed 10 people inside, we need to open our patio, get ready to rock, and fill the patio instead to get some revenue going there to keep people employed. So Thursday was a mad dash. We went and we set up the entire patio, like moving tents around, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, removing all the winterization we did. We get it done. We go into Friday. Friday's 10 people. We start cleaning the patio a little bit, and then halfway into the day, the government announces we're going back up to 50 indoors the next day. So we went from being worried about not having enough people in the building, in the business, to being like, oh my God, now we have a full patio for a hot weekend, plus 50 guests inside. I don't even know if I have enough staff right now for all that. So Doug Fort's plan was, if you don't like the rules, just change them.
What?
Yes, we had 10 people for literally one day. It's ridiculous.
Well, here, the restaurants indoors are still closed. It's takeout and delivery only. And I know a lot of restaurant people are very upset about that, and they're not happy.
Yeah, and you can tell in the air, right? The COVID fatigue is real. People don't want to hear it anymore. No one wants to be told, stay home. They keep saying it's been a year, so it's really hard to convince people to stay strong in this regard. It's been a long time going. But for us, we still have to go to work. We still have to be safe. We still have concerns about our safety, right? So we do what we can with what we've got and hope for the best. But it definitely is not a fun time for anyone. And then they just tacked on this rule where you're only allowed tables from the same household. So like if two people from different households go to a restaurant, they're not supposed to be able to sit together. That's impossible to police because we're not asking for proof of address when people arrive, right?
Right.
And second of all, that's like 95% of people that go out to restaurants. It's to see people, right?
Right. That's the whole point.
Yeah. So they've thrown a lot of curveballs our way. It's getting complicated, but at least we got some tables and it was a nice weekend. So that's cool.
Yeah, it was a beautiful weekend here too. It was a little bit chilly yesterday, but it was gorgeous today.
I definitely missed out on the weather for a decent part of my time off this weekend because I watched the Snyder cut of Justice League. Do you know what that is?
No.
So I'm going to nerd out for a second here. So Zack Snyder was directing Justice League, a movie that came out like 2.5 years ago now or whatever, right? That's like Superman, Batman, The Flash, and all them. He had to drop out of the project due to a personal emergency, and they had another director come in and take over, and the movie sucked. It was just terrible. And all the actors were like, this isn't the movie we signed up to do. These aren't the scenes we filmed. This is not like Ben Affleck quit, Batman after that. Henry Cavill quit being Superman after that because they were all pissed off about how poorly the studio took over from Zack Snyder once he left. So for years, people have been lobbying on the internet to get it made back together and make his full cut of the movie. So they finally caved and did it. It's like the first time in history they redid the same movie and re-released it. And it's like this 4-hour long, mega awesome movie of Batman, Superman, like all the great Justice League characters, way deeper, way cooler. It was a great way to nerd out for the weekend. It was so cool.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know anything about superheroes. So yeah, like nothing, like not even, I can name you Batman and Superman, but what league they belong to and all that stuff. No.
Okay, I was having a conversation with my buddy last night after we watched this movie. I'm going to throw out some superhero names, and all I want you to do is tell me if you've heard of them or not, if you know who they are, okay?
Okay.
So, Superman.
Yes.
Batman.
Yes.
The Flash.
Yes.
Green Arrow.
Heard of it, yes. Yes.
Heard of, cool. Martian Manhunter.
Who?
Perfect, awesome, okay. Spider-Man.
Yes.
Daredevil.
Yes.
Cyclops.
No.
Doctor Strange.
Well, hold on. I know who Cyclops is in general, but as a superhero, no.
That's
Doctor
fine.
Strange, like the movie, wasn't that like a movie like Doctor Strange something? Not Strange Love. What was it called? By what's his face?
No, Doctor Strange is the hero. Yeah, he got a movie.
Yeah, no.
What about Wolverine?
Yeah, Hugh Jackman, of course.
Did you know that Wolverine is a Canadian superhero?
I may have known that, but it's played by an Australian who I adore. So yeah, Hugh Jackman for the win.
And then Deadpool. Do you know who Deadpool is?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay, there's some interesting. That's cool. Do you know who Robin is?
Like Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that bad. Maybe I am. Yeah.
We were trying to see like how deep people, because like we obviously read a lot of comics as kids, so we're a little biased on the topic about how many like Marvel or DC, how many heroes do people know? Just a little context. That was fun. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I should do that. See it with designer fashion labels and see how much of those you know.
We'll do that next week. I'm down to do that. It'll be spectacularly bad. I'm excited.
Okay, well, that sounds like a plan because that's stuff I know about. But actually, wait, you said something that reminded me of. Oh, I actually watched one Batman movie in my life.
Which one?
One, I don't know, but he said "Holy Metal Floors, Batman," and I was peeing in my pants laughing at how bad it was.
Holy Rusty Metal. That was Chris O'Donnell and Batman Forever.
Okay, I think I actually owned it. Was Nicole Kidman in that?
Yes, and Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey were the bad guys. Yeah,
that's the only reason why I watched it is because Nicole Kidman's a great actress. Otherwise.
So you watch of the what is that 7 or no like the 9 Batman movies that now exist, you probably watched like the second worst one.
Yep, that's kind of what I do. Not on purpose. I watch movies for people, not because the movies are supposed to be good. Like given by who my favorite celebrities are, you should know that by now.
Yeah, I get that. The director of the Justice League, the Zack Snyder, he's one of my favorite directors. I love the work he does. So for me, it was like a total great nerd out moment.
I never even heard of him before. I thought it was just like about Julie Snyder or something, and I was a little bit concerned. So we're good.
Speaking of concerning,
yeah,
2 more overtime games just happened.
I know, and we beat the curse with the blue sweaters. What's up with that?
I know, and for those who are listening, remember I called it an overtime win. We didn't get an overtime win. We got a shootout win. I'll let you decide if that counts or not. But, hey, we didn't lose in overtime once.
Yeah, but you said the next game. You said we're going to win our next game. And the next game we lost in overtime. And then we won in the shootout. So you get like a 0.5, I guess.
I was hoping no one would remember that little piece of information.
Oh, well, I remember that piece of information. Meanwhile, I said Tyler Toffoli's going to score 6 goals. He's not even playing. So how screwed am I in this bet?
Yeah, do we know what the deal is with him?
It said lower body injury. I don't know. I'm hoping tomorrow he's back. And it was just like, I don't know, like maybe he just like tweaked his, what's not that bad? Tweaked his calf? I don't know. Can you even tweak a calf? I don't know.
Stepped on a nail maybe, or like, I don't know.
Oh, God, I hope not. That would be painful. But yeah, I have no idea. I just hope he's back because like we need him. And now that he's scoring against other teams, we really need him. And Mcdavid and Draisaitl, like we need Tyler Toffoli. Although we went without him. Lehkonen was back in. Thank you.
Do you want to give an evaluation of Lehkonen's performance?
The first shift was fantastic, although he really can't score. Him and Armia just drive me crazy. It's like the Finns just can't score. It's like, I don't know what's up with them. They have no finish. Major pun intended there. But it's true. Major pun, like punning. I don't know. The Finns just don't want to put the puck in the net. I don't know why. It's very frustrating. He played a good game, but he has no scoring talent, but neither does Armia unless Armia is like beast mode, which is so rare for every 15 games he goes into beast mode. It's very annoying.
Yeah, I don't buy his beast mode anymore. Like it's such a rare occasion, you know.
Yeah, it's like just shows up like once in a blue moon. Like it's enough. I always liked him when he was with Winnipeg actually, and then we got him. I was like, ooh, one man Armia, as you know, that was my name in our hockey pool. Remember?
Uh-huh.
And yeah, no, it's just leaves me with so much to be desired. It's very sad. Same with Lackanen. I like Lackanen. I like his forecheck though, but keep him because he's great on the penalty kill. Fabulous.
Our penalty kill is decent, if I believe. Now, like it got a little bit better.
Our power plays at like 35% since Burrows took over.
So I'm going to hop into knee-jerk reactions then, because I don't want to start talking about things that I'm trying to catch you off guard on.
No problem.
So, ready?
Yep.
Alex Burrows.
Canuck. He comes across as a Canuck because he was a Canuck for so long. I'm loving his power play, except for one thing that's driving me crazy. We may have already mentioned this. I know I've talked about it on Twitter. Why does the person, I think we talked about this. Why does the person rushing, like coming up the rush, always throw the puck back and then have that person bring it up? Like, it's not like we know it's coming. And also, I have to say, last night I noticed something that kind of irritated me. Stop forcing the shot to Weber. Like, just stop. Like, we all know it's coming. We all see it. But you know what I mean? Like, we know it's coming. So why are you trying to force feed the puck to Weber? Let someone else take the shot. He's on the ice doesn't mean he always has to be taking the shot. And Shay, if you're going to take the shot, may I make a recommendation? Hit the net, you know? Just a thought.
Oh, I remember like last year was a bigger problem. I remember like must have been 50% of Jeff Petry's shots missed the net, right? It was nuts. Like not this season, thank God. Like he's better, but yeah, if you're going to tee up Weber, you have to do it right. There's no excuse to not there's no excuse to miss the net, right? Like come on.
Exactly. Well, and Petry has hit like 5 posts in his last 2 games. He's killing me here. Like MV Petry, what's happening? You know
that Jeff well, he's still putting up points. He's got a couple of assists, right? But he's shooting 13.75% right now. Jeff Petry, that's a nuts number.
Yep,
especially for a defenseman.
Yeah, well, for sure. What's Connor McDavid's shooting percentage? Like 29?
I actually have that information close at hand. Hold on one second. I want to say it's probably like 17, 18%. But it's loading right now. I'll have the answer in like any second now. He's currently shooting 15.44%, which I believe is right ballpark on his career average. He's a good shooter, right? So he obviously gets a little more. Yep. Whereas like Brendan Gallagher has a lower shooting percentage, but he takes a lot more shots type thing, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so Connor McDavid, he's got a career 15% shooting percentage, although his rookie year was only at 12%. His sophomore year was 15, so bang on his average. The years after that, 17.1, 16, and 15.4. So if you figure the last 3 years have kind of been where he's starting to really hit his stride, you figure he's about a 16% shooter, which is insanely good.
It really is.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah. Well, we know that. I mean, you get to see him now 3 times this week. Woo-hoo.
We do. Before we get to that, though, next knee-jerk reaction, Nick Suzuki.
He's slumping a little, but his last 2 games, he had 2 beautiful goals. It was like a copy-paste goal.
Both power play.
Sorry?
Both of his goals were power play goals, right?
Yeah, and they were beautiful goals. They were absolutely beautiful. He's slumping like the whole team is, but I think he's coming out of his slump, and I think he's going to be doing a lot better for us this week. He won a lot of key faceoff draws in the against, well, obviously Vancouver, because who else were you playing in the last 2 days? But he won some very important draws that we got to score on in the third period with like a minute left with Price pulled or Allen pulled. It was great. It was great.
Did you know that Nick Suzuki leads all forwards in Montreal in ice time?
Does he?
So here are the top 3 players on the team in ice time. So Nick Suzuki Nick Suzuki averages 18 minutes and 41 seconds. That's a lot, right? That's a good number.
Yeah.
Second place is Tyler Toffoli at 17:30, so more than a minute less than Nick Suzuki. And then third is Phil Deneau, 16 minutes and 41 seconds, a full 2 minutes less than Nick Suzuki. So Nick Suzuki is playing at least 2 minutes more than every other forward on the team except for Tyler Toffoli. Is that part of the problem?
Well, if we had a legit number 1 center who wasn't 21 years old and we put all this pressure on him, yes.
And so KK plays, where is he? 14 minutes and 40 seconds. So he plays 4 minutes a game less than Suzuki. Should we think about maybe, redeploying those lines a little. Like Anderson's playing 15 minutes, Gallagher's playing 15 minutes, Tatar's playing 15 minutes. Like
is this include power play and penalty kill, or is that
total ice time? So if you look at if you break it down, Nick Suzuki averages 2 minutes and 25 seconds a game on the power play and about a minute a game on the penalty kill. So if you take away that 1 minute, he's down to 17:41. KK has 1 second of shorthanded time because he doesn't play the PK, and he's only got a minute 46 of power play time. So their power play time split isn't crazy, 225 to 146. So it's their even strength ice time and Nick Suzuki's penalty kill that's really driving his usage a little bit. Like, do we need Nick Suzuki on the penalty kill?
No. Well, hold on. No, because you have Jake Evans. You have Evans and you have Danault doing the penalty kill. Danault was on the power play last night. I'm guessing because Toffoli was out, but like, what? I think...
Didn't he get a power play assist?
At least he didn't start overtime last night. I was like praising the Jesus for that. I was like, yes, he didn't start overtime. That's like a huge step in the right direction.
And how did it work out?
And I like the pass back to Price. I'm a fan of the pass back to Price. I like that. I said that a few days ago. They should be passing back to Price if they have to change. Like, come on, obviously. But I don't understand. They're literally cycling the puck in their own end for like 3 minutes. Like, what are you doing? Go try to... We play to defend in overtime. I don't understand it. Go and score. The whole point is to score. Why are you standing there? Oh, it kills me. Okay, next. Go to the next... what's it called?
This is the last neon knee jerk because I think we spoiled the other one by accident, but that's fine. Okay, neon knee jerk reaction because they were playing together. Tatar, Danault, Gallagher. It worked!
It doesn't work. We wouldn't know if it works with any other line because they never get the chance to try it.
They had 2 goals, that line.
Yeah, wonderful.
Including the triangle.
Okay, put Gallagher with Toffoli and KK and let that go for 2.5 years and let me see the chemistry there. Okay?
Aren't
That's
you
all
happy
I have
we get to credit that line with the win, though?
Yeah, great. I'm really happy. Okay, so I really just think we need to let Gallagher be on an offensive line because this is what drives up Phil Danault's usage is because he has the 2 best, not at the moment, but the 2 best wingers on the team yet again. It's enough. He's a defensive player. Put him with Armia and Lehkonen or Armia and Byron or Lehkonen and Byron. I don't care which ones of those. Put him with those and let's see what happens then. You want to shut down McDavid? That's how you do it. Don't stymie Tatar, and who's horrible this year. He did well last night. And Gallagher, who's also been horrible this year. He did well last night. Don't stymie them so that you can make Danault happy. I'm sorry. That's not. This coach is all about veteran love, and it's very annoying. Personally, that's my feeling.
Yeah, that you're hitting the nail on the head there. I have not much to argue. I like that, the Tatar Danault Gallagher line still wins the goal differential game. Like they're not hurting us, but again, it just feels like something's missing, I think, right?
Well, I honestly think if Gallagher was playing in a more offensive line or a line where he had to retrieve pucks, like with KK and Toffoli, who can score, or even with Drouin and Anderson, I think he'd be an asset to any line because of the way he plays. And the truth is, we need that, I think, more than keeping that line happy. I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't know these people in real life in any way, shape, or form. But I really think it's more important that Gallagher gets moved around based on who needs him. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say, is there's just so much left to be, also he leaves so much more to be desired. And it's very frustrating yes, I'm happy the line worked, but I also think that they need to spruce up the other lines too. And he is the spark plug. So maybe let him go and play on different people's lines. Let him be the Corey Perry line mixer person. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I think they need to kind of figure out what they want to do and how they want to approach that because we've got a string of games coming up that they're important, right? I think these 3 next games against Edmonton are going to kind of be line in the sand markers for our season. If we win 3 games against Edmonton, we look really comfortable in a playoff spot. If we lose 3 games against Edmonton, we're really scared. And Edmonton's tied for first in the division right now with Toronto. Toronto has a couple games in hand. But for us, theoretically, if we take all 6 points from them, we pass them in the standings if the regulation wins. We'll be up on them by a point, and we'll still have 3 games in hand on them. So the fact that we've only played 31 and they've played 34 is a big advantage. But if we lose those, Vancouver's only 2 points back from us. Yes, we have games in hand. But when you're looking at Montreal's ability to position themselves in the season, I think if we win, if we come out with a 2-1 record in these 3 games, I feel really comfortable calling Montreal a playoff team. I get less afraid of Vancouver or Calgary trying to snag that last spot. But we have to put on a good show this week, and it's kind of a good measuring stick against, so the three teams ahead of us are Toronto, Edmonton, and Winnipeg. Three teams that score, right? If we can win those games against those high-scoring teams, I feel a lot better walking into the playoffs.
I agree. I also think another thing is we have to string together 2 wins in a row. So let's start with that first, and then we can worry about going 3-0 against Edmonton.
So let's talk about winning tomorrow's game or Monday's game, whenever you guys are listening to this, against Edmonton. That's a big deal. Yes.
I'm nervous about it. I mean, who's in nets? Do we know yet?
I have, for us or for them?
For them.
Who cares?
I think for us, who cares? Although Allen's been on a losing skid, but I think for us, who cares?
I'm really at the stage, the stage in our season where I have no concerns about our goaltending in general. Yes, I see bad games. Yes, we see a couple of bananas, but I am not worried about Carey Price and Jake Allen overall.
Me neither. I'm just curious to know who's in nets for Edmonton. I'm just curious to know who they've been using lately because they've been on like a winning streak lately from what I remember seeing. So
yeah, they've been doing well, but it's not a function of their their team being good, right? Like or their goaltending being good rather. It's a function of their team scoring like hell.
Well, that's what happens when you have McDavid and apparently Tyson Barrie, and Draisaitl. Like, hey.
So their power play is 5th in the league. Like they're scoring a ton. They're 2nd in the league for goals for overall. They have 3.4 goals per game. Their goals against is 2.9. Ours is 2.7. So we're the better defensive club. We really got to make sure that we're earning that reputation against them, and we need to counterattack really well because, kind of the game where you're a little happy that Ben Sherratt's not playing because he's not the fastest, most fleet of foot guy. You cannot let Ben Sherratt do one of his pinch ups and then create a turnover and have them go 2-on-1, right? Like you need to play some solid shutdown hockey. You need to trap a little bit and wait for opportunities to counterattack. You're not you can't get pretty with this team, and that's kind of how it's going to have to be this week. Who would you put in then, Mete or Roulette? I would not put Roulette into any game ever, unfortunately. I'm so not sold on him. I love him in Laval. I think he's a great captain for the Rocket. I think he's a great AHLer. I have zero confidence with him being in the NHL. Did you know he was from France? I did. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was weird. Yeah, there's not a lot. There's a couple, Antoine Roussel's French, right? There's a couple, but yeah. Cristobal Huet, remember him? Yes, I do. Our goalie, number 39, I believe. Was he? I don't know. I seem to be good with numbers, and that number came into my head, but I could be wrong. He was great. I think it was number 39. I'm going to check because I don't know. Let's see. He was. I can't tell because there's no picture. Hold on. Why don't they have his... So while you're looking that up, I want to gear us up for a little chat. Our big ticket talk. 39. 39, yeah? Yeah, go me. So gearing us up for our big ticket talk, I just spent a little bit of time talking about playoff implications and standings. I want to start operating on the assumption that we're making the playoffs because I feel like it's so easy to be negative. I just want to be relentlessly positive about one thing. So I'm going to call the playoff team. I have a question for you. Who out of Edmonton, Winnipeg, or Toronto, who do you want to play in the first round? Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so I think I'm going to – okay. Can I point out the flaws with each and point out the problems with each that we have? Yeah, let's go through then. So let's start off. Let's say we play Toronto. What's your thoughts on playing Toronto in the first round? Okay, Toronto likes to score at will, so that's my first issue with Toronto. And their defense isn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. However, Anderson is not very good. So we do have the advantage in nets if Carey Price can be Carey Price again. Yep. They have the advantage in scoring. They have the advantage of scoring against everybody except maybe Winnipeg. And defense, I'd say we have a slight advantage, but their defense is nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that's the truth about Toronto. Yeah, TJ Brody kind of really solidified his spot there. He did better than I thought he would do, and that sucks to see. Yeah, I agree. So... And then Toronto. So Toronto is the one team I never want to see in the playoffs ever. And there's one reason why I would never pick them personally. And that's because of, I believe in the hockey gods. And we've been relentlessly chirping this team since 1967. We haven't played them in the playoffs since the 80s, I think. Right. So I'm terrified that the hockey gods would use this as an opportunity just to slap us all into our place. I don't want that to happen. I just don't want to play them because I don't like them. And I don't want to hear all the Toronto people I know being like, oh, look at the Leafs. They kicked your butt. Yeah, I couldn't handle it. I would be so upset.
Me too. And I don't want to lose to Toronto. So I agree with you on that one. So Toronto would be my last choice. However, we might match up best against them, if I'm being honest. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think we have a decent matchup against them in a 7-game series where we can wear them down a little bit, right? But I just am terrified of what karma will do to us.
I understand that. I get it. Winnipeg. I would be terrified of Winnipeg. Their forwards are amazing. I love Connor Hellebuck. I think he's a great goalie.
Robbed of the Hart Trophy last year.
Yeah, he can get hot and like stymie us completely. And then there's their defense, which isn't great, but really we don't match up very well against them. I don't know why. We don't play well against them. I don't know why. Well, when we go to overtime, it's because they have 3 forwards on the ice and we have Deneau, Byron, and Petrie. But I don't know. I just feel like Winnipeg is probably the least I'd want to match up with. Like, not talking about Toronto, how much I hate them, but just Winnipeg. Like, they're good. They're scary good, and I could see them coming out of the East. The East. I mean Canada. Whatever. The North. Whatever division we're in. The Canadian division. Yeah, the North. Sorry. The Scotia North. I still don't understand those headings, but whatever. The Scotia North.
Whatever. If they paid money to name them that, I'm all for it. Have fun.
So did Honda and Mass Mutual, and I forget the other one.
Yeah, the Winnipeg Jets kind of remind me in a very light version. Like, I'm not talking Crosby level, but the Pittsburgh Penguins when they won their back-to-back cups, because they had very strong goaltending. Fleury and Murray were a killer tandem, right?
Yep.
They had elite scoring up front on their top 2 lines, and they had good depth. Like, the HBK line was awesome. But their defense was nothing to write home about. Like, Letang was injured for one of them, I'm pretty sure, right? Like, one of those playoff runs anyways. So, like, they're running guys like Brian Dumoulin, who's underrated and good, but he's not a name brand, right? Right. So, like, you can win a Stanley Cup without having amazing defense because your goalie does that work, right? If your goalie can stand on his head. If there's any goalie in the league that can stand on his head, it's Connor Hellebuck, because he should have won the Hart Trophy last year,
He's amazing, and I'd be scared to face him. I really would. He's a great player. So
okay, so that leaves the Edmonton Oilers then.
So their defense also, I don't think, is wonderful. They have what?
They suck.
I'm being a bit more diplomatic here, finally, for once. But they do have Draisaitl and McDavid, who are unbelievable, and I wouldn't want to face them 7 times or up to 7 times. But the truth is, besides those 2, I guess we're going to find out tomorrow, how much more lethal are they? And their goalies aren't great. So Edmonton might be the team we want to face, because if you shut down those 2, I mean, who else is wonderful on that team?
And it might not even be a question of shutting them down, right? Like, there's an argument to be made that you let them get their shots and you just beat them at the depth battle, right? Like, their bottom 6 is atrocious. It's really, really bad, So if you get Connor McDavid for 20 minutes, you can survive that, and then you have 40 minutes to hammer home, right? But if Connor McDavid plays 27 minutes a night, which could be a thing too, then you're terrified, right?
Who's Draisaitl playing with? He's not always playing with Connor.
No, they play power play together usually, and then he is on the second line. He's also dangerous, but he has more of a one-man person on his line, right? Like, he's got Yamamoto on that line, I believe, right now. Nugent Hopkins, or is Hopkins with McDavid? I don't know. I think you get the 1-2 punch you have to deal with, right? Like, we did Crosby Malkin. We can survive McDavid Draisaitl, but you just have to be on your best, Like, you have to be ready to go.
No, for sure. It's just I mean, they might be the one we want though the most is Edmonton. We'll see this week.
So yeah, we'll play them 3 games and then we'll decide. But right now they're our pick, I think, right?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'd say Montreal, Edmonton, and let Winnipeg and Toronto take each other out.
Yeah.
I would like that, actually. I'd like for Winnipeg to take out Toronto.
I would love to cheer for the Winnipeg Jets against Toronto. I would enjoy that because I like the Jets, so I would be happy letting them do our dirty work.
Me too. I like the Jets a lot, too.
All right, we're going to swing around the league for a little bit. I just want to recap my 3 calls from our weekend one-timer. So the New York Rangers played the Washington Capitals on Friday, like we talked about. New York lost 2-1. So the awkwardness continues a little bit because they had a 9-0 win, and then they couldn't repeat it. So David Quinn, awkward. I love it. The Columbus Blue Jackets won in a shootout against the Carolina Hurricanes. That was the Saturday game I was calling for. And that's kind of like the worst scenario possible. The Blue Jackets gain a little bit of ground, but it doesn't help their regulation overtime wins. It's a shootout. So when we talked about, when I spoke about this kind of being the ground, the line in the sand for Columbus to start thinking about their future. I don't think after that game they can talk about it. I think they have to punt that decision down. Ashley, you said you heard they were talking about 4 games to kind of make a decision. That kind of feels right now.
Yep, that's what I heard on Thursday.
And then earlier today, we're recording this on Sunday. Tampa played Florida. The Florida Panthers are not in first place. They lost that game, so Tampa stays in first place. But that would have been something to see if Florida beat them and took over first in the league. What a success story.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah.
And lucky Noah Juleson gets to somewhat be a part of it, albeit from the bench, but that's okay.
Hey, any player named Noah, good in my book. Noah Hannafin, I like you.
Yeah, there's no Ashley in the league, sadly. Also, I'm a girl, but whatever.
While we're swinging around the league, I wanted to give a quick little shout out and thank you to capfriendly.com. For those who don't know, CapFriendly is like the site to go to for anything salary cap related. Their Twitter has been incredibly helpful in getting an understanding of the day-to-day transactions in a COVID salary cap world. And I don't think they had enough credit for what they do, so I wanted to take a moment to say good job, CapFriendly. That you guys are amazing, and thank you for keeping our information accurate. Appreciate it. You're better than the NHL, I think, doing that. So.
I agree. They're amazing. They know like all the transactions before anybody else does. They're great. So thanks, guys, for keeping that website up and helping everybody like us make podcasts and all the information and stats available. So thank you.
Love it. And then the last thing around the league I wanted to talk about was Philly and their division. When we were going into the preseason, we knew that division looked good and only 4 teams can make the playoffs. We knew that one supposedly good team was going to miss the playoffs. It looks like it's going to be the Philadelphia Flyers. Is that something that, like, how mad should Philly fans be if they miss the playoffs?
Very, because weren't they supposed to be the best team in the world last year? And they're supposed to win the whole thing. They kicked our butt, but I keep hearing how amazing the Flyers are and what's happening in Philly.
Not amazing is exactly the answer. My favorite thing from that playoff series was how people tried to make a narrative about it, saying, "Oh, Carter Hart outdueled Carey Price." No, he didn't. We just couldn't score at all. Like, it wasn't because he was good; it's because we were bad. You know, like we couldn't get shots on goal. All our goals were awkward deflections. It wasn't this like crazy goalie battle. And yeah, Carter Hart put up some good numbers. So did Carey Price. And who's the better goalie this year? Sorry, Carter Hart. You know.
Yeah, no, I like Carter Hart. I wish him luck, but just, not for that Philly wins a cup.
Yeah, he's 22 years old. Like, of course he's going to go through growing pains. We know everything in this city about goalies being young and having to find their footing, right? Like we lived that. So, I don't think Philly needs to freak out about Carter Hart, but I definitely think you'd higher expectations for this year. And if you're not making the playoffs, woof, what do you do, right? Like, they need to sell some assets. They need to do something.
I have to say, though, another team that's surprising me in the same realm is Dallas.
They stink.
And they were like really good last year. So what happened there?
Were they really good last year? I don't know about that, right? Like, they went to the Cup final, so obviously they were a good team. But throughout the season, nobody was like, "Ooh, watch out for the Dallas Stars," you know? Especially when they had their coaching change mid-season. We all kind of figured, like, this may or may not work. I don't know. But I look at their roster and I don't get wowed by it. I was certainly impressed with them going to the Cup final, obviously. And I expected them to be better than they are this year. And I know that not having Ben Bishop obviously impacts that because he's been hurt, right? But I don't know. Like, and Tyler Seguin is out also, right?
Is he?
Yeah, I don't think he's played this year yet.
Oh, really? Oh. Ooh. Well, that could explain it then. Sorry, Dallas. I take it back.
Well,
my bad.
Jamie Benn needs to earn his salary.
There's been a lot of stuff about Jamie Benn, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awkward.
Yeah.
Remember when Carey Price stole the Hart Trophy from him? In the season where he led the league in scoring with like 84 points only?
I wouldn't say stole. He rightfully deserved it. Actually, I had a thing on my Facebook come up today, like that 9 years ago in Facebook thing or whatever, or 5 years ago.
Yep.
I think it was 4 years ago, and it had all of Carey Price's stats. And my thing was like 9 games to be played. However, look who leads the league. And he had like 40 wins, like a .936 save percentage. And he had like amazing stats. And I was like, yeah, if only that was still happening right about now. But
maybe it will. Yeah. Goaltending is voodoo.
It is. You're right.
All right, we're just going to hop over to a word from our sponsor now. We'll be right back. The sounds of a hockey rink can sometimes be boring. If you really wanted to spice up the sound of your hockey game, try hitting the puck onto the post. That wonderful ping is guaranteed to make your night better or worse. All right, we're back. A couple of things we want to talk about. What are we asking the coach or GM this week? Ashley, do you want to start or you want me to go?
You can go first.
So I have a question for a GM. that I'm going to actually ask around this week and see if I can get an answer to. But my question for the GM is, what is your job? What do you do in a week? Like we talk about GMs and about, their job is to make trades and sign players and read scouting reports. Because I genuinely don't know. What else do they do? How long does that take? Like, how long does it take to make a phone call for some trades and stuff? Do they do a 40-hour work week? Do they do a 50-hour work week? I don't know. So what is your job is a question I'm going to seek to answer and report back to this podcast.
Okay, well, I wonder who we can ask who would know. Anybody out there know what a GM does in a week besides, as Noah just said? I mean, they're not going to be on the phone for like 40 hours talking to the same person trying to like finalize a trade, right? That would be ridiculous. So we see them on their phones during the game all the time. So are they texting their friends? Or are they texting other GMs? Or who are they texting? Their wives, their girlfriends, their husbands, whatever?
Are they on YouTube watching videos of cats?
Maybe. There's some pretty funny ones.
They're always on their phone.
I know. Did you see the dog screaming, getting its nails cut?
Yes, I did. That was hilarious, actually.
I didn't know a dog could scream.
Yeah, I thought it was fake.
Me too. Apparently, it's real. Pugs apparently have like massive issues with that. I asked my grooming place, and not my grooming place, my dog's grooming place. Let me rephrase that. I asked my dog's grooming place. Awkward.
That's great. Okay, next up is it Jordan Harris go time? His team just got eliminated, right? So what's the plan for him?
I'd bring him up. Let him play with the Habs. Let's see what he can do. AKA send him to Laval and let's see what he can do there.
Yeah, I think Laval is the place to start, right? I wouldn't put him in. I wouldn't call him up right away to the bigs.
No.
So in that case, I don't know what kind of leverage Jordan Harris would have, but I know that he's other teams have their eyes on him. They like him. So would we have to, do you think, in your professional opinion, do we have to burn a year off his deal and sign him to an entry-level deal right away? Or can we get him on an AHL deal to punt his entry-level contract to next year?
Oh, that's a good question. I think because the season's still young for the AHL, it could do him some good to get some pro experience. You know what? It wouldn't hurt to have him with the Black Aces either if we do make the playoffs. So I would just burn the year.
Burn the year, and then his contract would be ending the same time as Alex Romanov's, I think, right? No, this is Romanov's second year technically, right?
Well, he burnt a year, yeah, because he burnt the year.
Yeah, so he'd have 1 year off of Alex Romanov. That's good. There's some spacing there. That's cool.
Yeah, so I would do that. What would you do?
I would try to MacGyver him into an AHL contract to start, and then sign him as we get, like, if we see that he's got what it takes to run with a big team, like he might be the guy that replaces Victor Mete. Maybe he certainly has developed a reputation where people believe he's an NHLer at some point. But I think you give him a shot in Laval right now and see how he does.
So
or you trade him.
Why would we trade him?
Because I want a good player. Okay,
but don't we have other assets so we can trade?
Yeah, but I mean, like, at some point in time, a left-hand D is going to be in that package because we've got Harris, Struble, Norlinder,
yeah.
So I think he would fit great into a package if we're going to trade something. But I'm not saying trade him. I'm saying I would trade him if the deal came along.
Well, I would trade anybody if the deal came along except for Cole Caulfield. But question, if Cole Caulfield gets out of this whenever he's allowed to be done, would you sign him to the Habs immediately, or would you sign, same thing? What would you do with him?
I believe we don't have the leverage to not do that. Like, we'd have to burn the year off his deal because he's going to win the Hobey Baker, right? Like, he's the guy. Yep. So, he's going to be sought after no matter what. If he holds out, that's a bad look.
For sure. But would you sign him as soon as possible? Can he drop out of college to come play for us right now?
Yep.
Or does he have to finish his year?
They could sign him right now, but he's going to finish. He's going to play tournaments out, right? Like, he'll go till they're done their season.
Darn.
Yeah. So, like, as soon as he's done,
yeah,
put the pen to paper. Let's go.
I agree. I would love to see him on our power play. Imagine how lethal it would be with him. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. So exciting. So exciting. Okay.
Awesome. We got our top three, bottom three. I don't even have three in the bottom because it was a weird week. But my top players are the ones I wanted to talk about. Number one, Blake Wheeler. Did you hear about Blake Wheeler's penalty?
No.
Blake Wheeler got an unsportsmanlike penalty at the end of the game when he was leaving the ice because he whipped the puck into the stands, the empty stands. Like, he threw it out to the crowd.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
I love that. I think that's amazing and hilarious. Blake Wheeler, you win this week. Great job, my friend. Jeff Petrie gets number 2 because he still put up 2 assists, even though he didn't score. Love him.
We know.
And then number 3, I love to see this player heat up. The NHL is better with this player active in scoring. Alex Ovechkin, what a week for him. He's pouring on the goals again. He's up to 15 now, so he's catching up. I always want him to win the Rocket Richard. I think he's the most entertaining player in the league, except for maybe McDavid right now. So, yes, great job.
Me too. I think he's great. I have one to add in this top section. Again, I'm doing it more of a Habs base. I'm going to give it to Corey Perry because, again, he's just so good, and he just scores so many clutch goals. And if I'm going to be honest, I'll also give it to Brendan Gallagher, who had an amazing night last night, and this weekend he's great. So I'll give it to those 2 guys this week. I'm just doing the Habs because I haven't watched enough non-Habs hockey this week. I apologize.
No, that's awesome. I think that's great. And both those players, huge presence for our team, right? Love it.
Yeah.
My bottom, I got 2 people. One we talked about a little bit in Carter Hart, not doing so well in a bit of a slump. You know, you don't hate the kid, but you can't be patting him on the back right now. And then the last one is Taylor Hall. It's really bad. I had a question. So if you're the Edmonton Oilers and you're going on a playoff run, or you're hoping to go on a playoff run, of course, do you trade right now Taylor Hall for Adam Larson?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Was there a lot of issues with Taylor in Edmonton? I don't know this whole situation there. So
yeah, he was a jerk.
Well, I know that, but
remember that article came out like a couple of years ago where it was like Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle were making fun of Jeff Petrie because he was practicing too hard.
Okay, well, how's that looking now, right? Taylor Hall?
I was listening to the Athletic show's podcast. It was Ian Mendez and Down Goes Brown, and they were talking about Taylor Hall out of skaters. Probably now is the case for the worst. Like once you win the Hart, how quickly you fall off the 3 years after winning your Hart trophy.
Lovely.
Like he's been awful since he won it, right? And
he has. I actually have some people to add on to this bottom 3 list for a change, which is pretty good for me. Okay, so the Buffalo Sabres again. I'm sorry, every week they're just going to be on this team or on this list. But also the referees and what they're allowing and what they're not allowing and how they're missing so many blatant boarding calls. Like there was a Gallagher one that was horrendous. Again, I only watch a lot of Habs games. Jake Evans been pummeled like 6 times into the boards this season. Like, what is happening? What do they need glasses? Like, go to LensCrafters. Like, what's happening here? It's crazy how many calls they are missing on the ice. And I'm not just saying as a Habs homer, which I fully am. They gave a penalty to somebody on the Canucks, and I was like, that's not a penalty. Like, he didn't even do anything. It was a phantom trip, and he really didn't trip him. And I was honest about it. It was I forget who it was. Do you remember this? It was on Friday.
Yeah, but it's not just even the Habs as you're saying, right? Like that's the thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, it wasn't the Habs. It was like the Habs got a power play out of it, and I'm like, for what? The guy didn't do anything. Like, come on, like. They're making up calls as they go. They're letting things go that they shouldn't. They really need to get a grasp on the game. And I understand a lot of the refs are new or from the AHL or from other leagues, and I get it. I know it's a COVID-infested league and not a COVID-infested league, but it's a COVID times and everything's, they're trying to sort everything out. But, I mean, come on. Like, you got to start calling real calls here and double cross-checking somebody in the back when they're going flying headfirst into the boards. Maybe that's a penalty, maybe. Just a thought. Yeah,
Rachel Dory on Twitter was talking about that the other day. She pointed out from the hits on the Habs, hits on a couple of the Jets, and hits on a couple of the Leafs players. And it's like the Leafs are like the refs are just doing it, right? They're letting everything go. It's hard to believe that it's not just intentional and they're managing the game and they don't want too many penalties, right? Like they can't possibly be that bad.
No, to me, it's just ludicrous. It doesn't make sense. And they really need to get it's concerning. Someone's going to die. Someone is going to die on the ice. And it's
scary.
It is. But it's true. They're smashing their heads. It's not okay. It's very scary.
It's annoying that more GMs and people around the league and even player safety aren't speaking up about this, right? Like no one in the NHL seems to care too much about it. And so like maybe that's us not understanding what the players want, but I find it hard to believe that players are okay with that, right?
I agree.
Anyway, fumble of the week. It's pretty straightforward. It's the opposite end of the New York Flyers game. It's the Flyers for giving up 9 goals and getting shut out. One of the worst shellackings the team's had since Montreal got shellacked 10-1 or 10-0, whatever it was a couple of years ago.
I still have PTSD from that.
That was Columbus, right?
Yeah, that cannon going off. And I have had PTSD in my life, so I can say that I like that. Oh my God, that was horrible. That cannon. Oh my God.
I love the Blue Jackets, so I wasn't too upset that game. I was kind of laughing. So, but it was bad. But the Flyers are terrible. That was a terrible game for them. And it was 9-0 like after 2 periods. They like,
I know.
Yikes.
Yeah. Oh, it was horrible. Oh my God. All right, Noah, do you have a rant this week?
I don't have a rant. I'm pretty rant free. I think I had a good week of watching hockey, and I think my rant will be powerful after we see the 3 Oilers games. Sherrod or not, who's your hottie for the week?
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'll do one NHL player, and then I'm gonna do one MLB player. How about that for a twist?
MLB player.
Yeah. So it's about time I give it to this guy. We're gonna give it to Carey Price. He's adorable. Let's admit it.
With shorter hair. So weird this year.
I said shorter hair.
It has to be short hair, like Hart Trophy Carey Price. Yeah, I definitely.
Not now. I'm talking in the past. So yeah. And then for my MLB hottie of the week, this is super random, is Mark Grudzielanek. Do you remember him?
No, I do not. I'm not a big baseball person. How do you spell that name?
Grudzielanek is Grudzielanek.
Got it. Okay. Google search images.
Oh, he's so cute. He was so cute when I was like, number 4.
He played for the Expos.
Yeah, I trust me. I know.
Oh, I know who that is.
Mark Grudzielanek.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I was expecting someone like recently playing in the MLB, so you threw me off there. Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. Taking a look right now. Yep, that's a good pick. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I know there's a few others who I will put in who are very cute, like who are still playing, but I'm going with somebody who's like, an expo.
Every time we jump out of hockey into other sports, I feel good because I feel like that's proper fumble pucking.
Well, if you want somebody who's also more recent, who's also adorable, check out Grady Sizemore. We apparently drafted him, and he is like, oh my God, he's so cute. He's so adorable. Oh. He's also more my age because he's like 38, so it's good. Because
you're like 25. Stop it.
I'm not 25. I'm almost 40. Oh my God. Let's not talk about that.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. We've been going for a bit here now. Our little moment in hospitality to end off the pod. I just wanted to say to everyone, getting back to the COVID thing quickly, weather's getting nice. Businesses are going to start opening up. Patios are going to start opening up, but it isn't over. Please just be friendly. Please follow the rules. Please ask the right questions. And make sure you're being smart about how you spend your time, right? Don't ruin it for the rest of us just yet. Cases are starting to spike in Ottawa. I want this back to normal as soon as possible, but take care of the person beside you. Take care of the people that matter. You're going to have opportunities to get outside and enjoy the weather as it gets warmer. Be smart about it.
I agree. And as always, you can follow us on social media at Fumble Puck Pod. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're at Google. We're everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Fumble Puck Pod. On Facebook, it's Fumble Puck Podcast. We love your feedback. Keep it coming. Oh, and to the person who asked why the Mr. Big bars are so small, I don't know. Do you know, Noah?
They are small because of economics in a COVID world, I'm going to say. Mr. Big, known to be big chocolate bars, had to cut costs, and they suddenly started making them smaller. None of that is true. I made that all up, but we appreciate Watch Flake, which is Matt's good friend of the show, reaching out to ask us a great question.
Oh, that's Matt?
That is Matt. So Matt, for those who you wouldn't know him necessarily, good friend of the show, good friend of ours. His name is Flake on Twitter. His handle's Watch Flake. Anytime you want to watch someone on Twitch streaming gaming, he's the guy to go to. He's a great host of online game tournaments like Gwent and stuff. He's a great guy.
Oh, hi, Matt. I didn't know that was you. Sorry. Hi, Matt. Thanks for following. So now we have 3 followers, my mom, Stacy, and Matt. Awesome. Thanks to 3 of you and everybody else for listening to this. We really appreciate it. Sorry for a little bit too opinionated. It's like 11 something at night and I'm really tired, and so is Noah. We've had a very long week. So we'll make this a little bit more politically correct next time, or maybe we won't. Let us know what you want us to do.
Maybe we won't.
Maybe we won't. This will just become the real deal with us, right?
All right, everyone. You guys have a wonderful week. Looking forward to talking to you on our weekend one-timer.
Sounds good. Speak to you then.
Bye.
Bye.